Okay, so here's the deal. I have not taken a trade since October 29th. The reason for this is because the week after the 29th was election week, so I didn't take a trade that week. I might have taken a trade that week after election day, which was the 5th. Um, However, we had FOMC later that week as well. So they're really just, that week was ridiculous. So I didn't take a trade that whole week. Um, and then so I thought I'd be back Monday. Monday happened to be a bank holiday. Monday was Veterans Day, so I didn't take any trades. I wasn't at the charts because it was a bank holiday. So Tuesday here, November 12th, is officially my first day back trading since the 29th of October. That being said, I don't like what I see today, and I gotta be real careful. I'm not gonna force anything just because I haven't traded in a while. I'll kind of go by what I see. So, as you can see this week, um, we actually had a bearish day yesterday, but funny enough, the first thing we did was we took the previous weekly high. So this objective is already taken to the upside. That's not great if you want to see bullish price action. I'm not saying that I'm bearish, but that's just not ideal. So that's an objective that's already gone. Yesterday we performed just a really crappy doji candle, but we did tap into a daily bullish fair value gap. But as you can see on the daily here, we're in some accumulation phase after distributing quite a bit last week due to the election. So, got to be aware of where you're at in the marketplace. Currently, we are just accumulating on the higher time frame. Right, you can see it even clearer on the 4 hour and as we go lower. But, so yesterday, we did sweep when we tapped into that daily fair value gap. We did sweep some sell side. But as you can see, we remained in accumulation. We didn't expand higher. We created some more equal highs here, which I like, but we also have equal lows. Okay, so we're in between some pretty obvious sell side and buy side. Right, you can see it very clearly on the 1 hour, and I just, there's not really, this doesn't breed A plus setups like this type of price action. On top of this, we have CPI tomorrow, so I really would not be surprised given the fact that we're already in some choppy conditions. I would not be surprised if the day before CPI, while price is in an accumulation phase, I would not be surprised if we just chopped around. So we have to be aware of that as well. All right. We have heavy news tomorrow that's going to do something to price most likely. So I don't know, why does it keep doing this? Your session was disconnected because your account simultaneously accessed with a different browser or device. I gotta ask my brother, he might be on my account. Anyways, yeah. That's kind of where my head's at right now. I just don't see an opportunity for a trade at this point, right? We're not, aside from the daily fair value gap that we tapped into yesterday, we're not really inside of a higher time frame for PD array that I love and I need to see for a trade. But yeah, I mean, you can see equal lows here, equal highs here. Which one are we coming for? Do we sweep this first and go for the lows? Do we keep the lows intact? I don't know. I genuinely, I am not in favor of these conditions. I actually liked these conditions yesterday more. I didn't take a trade because of Veterans Day and it was a bank holiday, like I said. But this was a very obvious draw on liquidity to me yesterday, especially because we swept the weekly high, previous weekly high already. So It didn't give me an entry anyway. I was looking, but right after 9:30, it didn't really give me an entry. So yeah, but nothing I really like here. So I'm gonna stay at the charts though, because today is officially the first day back I can trade. So I'm gonna stay at the charts and just see what, get back into it too. It's not necessarily a bad thing that I'm not trading today. I'd like to get some time on the charts anyway before I place a trade, because I've been away from the charts for over a week now. So, but yeah, let's see what price does here. My prediction is it's going to be a bit of a sideways day, choppy day, but we will see. So we came for the buy side first. Um, as you can see, there's just not an entry. Maybe if you went down to like the 15 second, you'd be able to use maybe like a. Was there? I don't even know. Like genuinely, what would have been the entry here? I really don't know. Like, I. It is what it is. There's nothing for me here, to be honest. But yeah. So, look, is there an opportunity for a sell here? Yes, there is. Um, there definitely is. I just don't like it because technically it's against the trend, right, on the higher time frame. So that's my reasoning behind why I don't like it. But I definitely, it's valid. It's aside from the bias, bias aside, this is a valid setup here. We have a sweep of buy side tapped into a higher time frame PD array. Okay, and we have some obvious sell side that needs to be taken or can be taken. Um, so, you know, it's a tough one. I don't, again, the reason I'm hesitant is because, you know, we tapped into this daily fair value gap yesterday. And obviously, what's the trend looking like? Well, it's bullish. But that is really nice distribution. Fuck. That'd be 1, 2 even. We don't even have to come for the previous daily low. I mean, dude, everything is here, to be honest. I might take this. I really might. I like it because of the distribution. I really like it because of the distribution, right? It's distributing to the downside very nicely right now. That's mainly why I like it. And there's some obvious liquidity to the downside here, so on the 2 minute. This is closing. So if I did this, what does that get me? 5 instead of 6. Interesting. Okay. If it takes this before I get entered, then I'm out of the trade, or I'm going to take my entry off. I like how we didn't sweep this low here. Follow my trading plan here with the entry, so good day regardless of the outcome. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, this is going to be an area where I manage to trade depending on what I do here. It's a 1 to 1.4. Do I put my stop to break even? Do I take contracts off? We'll see when the time comes there. I mean, at this rate, I'm gonna get stopped out, and that's fine. I mean, I followed my trading plan. Again, the only thing that I was a little bit concerned with is the fact that we were trading against bias here, but I had my reasons. I had my draw. Um, Definitely had a reason to enter. My model was there. Higher time frame PD array was there. Um, so yeah, I mean, you know, there's reasons why I definitely could have not entered, but I didn't not follow my trading plan here. So that's the main concern is did I break a rule? And I didn't break a rule. So um, yeah. For our trade to be invalidated, essentially it's going to have to close above this 5 minute fair value gap, which it definitely could. And if it inverts it, that's not a good sign. If it stays within here, then uh, definitely feeling a bit better, but we'll see. It's definitely, to me, has to close under this fair value gap. Yeah, not a good sign if it closes above this. It came close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take me out. That's fine. It knows my entry. Yeah. fuck it. Fucking. I'm out. I was just sick of getting chopped around. I entered. You know, here's the deal with today. I entered based off my trading plan. Um, you know, I did. So I can't be mad at that. Um, and I wanted to let the trade play out, and I'm sure now it'll probably go directly to my stop loss or my take profit. But, um, I got out right around here. I wanted to see it play out. I didn't want to, I let it play out, perhaps for too long. At the end of the day, I followed my trading plan with my entry, my setup, cool. One thing I regret is the fact that I didn't trust my gut in the fact that we would probably shop around today. And I lost $300 because of that. I came into this day thinking, well, CPI tomorrow, already ranging on the daily after some heavy distribution last week. We could see some choppy price action. That's what I came into today thinking. And, well, after I entered, we definitely got that. Again, is it a bad day necessarily? No. Okay. It was a good trading day because I didn't go beyond my rules here with the entry. Okay. I did not go beyond my rules. But I certainly should have trusted my gut and not entered today, considering how choppy price was after I entered. I think it comes down to a little bit of the fact that I haven't traded in literally a fucking almost 2 weeks. Literally actually 2 weeks. The October 29th was Tuesday of that, not last week, but the week before. So literally this is my first trade in 2 weeks. So I think it comes down to a little bit of that, just the fact that I haven't traded in a while and, maybe a little anxious to get into something. But at the end of the day, I didn't break any rules entering here. Okay, I entered based off of my rules, and I exited based off of my rules, No rules were broken. But yeah, it just comes down to that, like, trust my gut. Trust my gut. I was coming into today thinking we could chop around, and that's literally exactly what we did. Had I not entered a trade, I'd be feeling so good about myself right now. I'd be like, yeah, look at this. I'm so glad I didn't enter, right? I'm that guy. I figured it out. I knew not to enter on a day like today. Well, I got too caught up in the fact that my model was present. I got too caught up in that fact. And it is what it is, First loss in a while, part of the game. But yeah, no, I mean, look, it just looked too good for me to pass by. The fact that, yes, we swept buy side. We came into a higher time frame PD array, 4 hour and hourly, fair value gap. Equal lows below. Okay? But CPI tomorrow. Look at the price action before we swept. Very, very choppy conditions. And that's what I should have been more aware of. Or I was aware of. More. That should have. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't want to. I don't want to sit here and say that I regret my entry because I don't. At the end of the day, my entry followed my trading plan, so how could I regret it? But I want to be able to take a lesson out of every trade that I win or lose. And the lesson here is the fact that I have to do a better job of sitting on the sidelines during choppy conditions. And I did a very good job of that last month, and it paid off.
I came into today thinking we could be choppy. And I believe what I have to do in the future is when I have a gut instinct like that, because I should be able to trust my gut at this point. I've watched enough price action unfold to know when price action could potentially be unfavorable. Am I saying I'm going to get that right 100% of the time? No. And that reasoning right there is the fact I got into this trade. If I thought that I was going to 100% be correct on my initial analysis that we were going to range the whole day, then I definitely would not have entered. So, lesson here is just because your trading model is there, and just because if you enter, you would be following your trading plan, and that's quote unquote a good trading day, does not mean you should enter if you believe that the conditions for price action are unfavorable, and today they were. And I called that out. It's not like I was unaware of that. I called it out. So that's the lesson there. I'm going to do a quick trade recap and then end the live here. Okay, so quick trade recap. I just talked about it in the live, but I'm going to talk about it here, so I have it journaled for myself via video. So, first things first, I came into today full knowing that we could end up having a choppy ranging day, or at least morning. All right? And as you can see, that's what we've had. Price action is definitely unfavorable right now. The trading conditions are not very good, and we chopped around. That being said, I entered because my trading plan was present. My model was there, everything lined up, and I was not breaking any rules by entering the trade. I can put a check on my box today. Check off the day that I followed my trading plan. So technically this is quote unquote a good trading day. However, there's a lesson to be learned in every loss. Okay? And the lesson to be learned with this one is the fact that although my model showed up, that does not necessarily mean I should be taking the trade. I know trading is the hardest thing in the fucking world. It really is. Mentally, it is the most difficult thing you will ever try. And the reason being, it can be a mind fuck at times. Yes, I want to execute always when I see my model. But I want to execute always when I see my model in favorable trading conditions. And today, we didn't have favorable trading conditions, and I came into today saying that. It's not like I was unaware that we could potentially chop around today. I said in the live before 9:30 open, I said today could be a choppy day because we have CPI tomorrow, and we were on the daily here. You can see the previous 2 days of price action where we are accumulating after a big leg up. So I knew that today could be unfavorable, but I didn't care because I saw my model, and I think there's a lesson in that. Yes, I want to always execute when I see my model, but there's a caveat there, and it's if price action is favorable, if conditions are favorable for price to make a move towards a draw. I think today is a bit more of a seek and destroy day that I entered in on here. Unfavorable price action that I just paid the price for. And that's fine. Look, at the end of the day, it's a good lesson to learn. Yes, I want to execute when I see my model, and I don't want to hesitate, right? And I didn't hesitate here. But if price action is unfavorable, which I can do a pretty good job of assessing because I've seen a lot of price action, then I don't care if my model's showing up. I just leave the charts. Goodbye. See you later, right? Because
you can see it here today. I mean, my model is here. I'll show you what I entered in off of. So obviously, yes, conditions in the higher time frame were bullish, right? Obviously, we're trending higher. One thing I want to make note of, though, is the fact that we did take this previous weekly high on like Sunday night. So as far as like, yes, we do want to go higher, but as far as targets, we don't really have many targets to the upside because we're at all-time highs. Previous weekly high was taken. Really, the only target to the upside that we have is the previous daily high. So I just want to make that clear. But what we did here was we swept liquidity, swept buy side, and traded into a 4-hour bearish fair value gap as well as a 1-hour bearish fair value gap. And it looks really nice on the 1 hour here, but we swept liquidity, higher time frame PD array. Okay, check. What do I need now? Well, I need a obvious draw on liquidity. Okay, well, these equal lows are fairly obvious. Okay, what do I need after that? Well, I need distribution for my entry. Well, what do we get? This is the sweep. Beautiful distribution. Entered off of a 2-minute fair value gap right here. And then, as you can see, we ended up just chopping around after. And I got out like somewhere here. For a loss of, let me check, for a loss of 340. You know, losing is part of the game. If I'm gonna take a loss, this is a loss I'd want to take, because I followed my trading plan. I don't regret taking myself out of the trade either, because obviously you can see it didn't hit my stop loss, but I'm not going to sit in this. It was draining my mental capital, and typically when shit like this happens, it's not going to go in your favor. So I'm not upset with the fact that we're now trading lower. You know, in hindsight, I just shouldn't have entered, but I executed off my model. So it's not a bad trade. Again, just put more importance in price conditions. I wasn't oblivious to the fact we could chop around today. Even though I was aware that it could definitely happen and the conditions were favorable for chop, I still entered because I saw my model, and I think that was wrong of me. In the future, if I believe price conditions are unfavorable, I mean, this is the whole reason I don't trade during news event, or, you know, on news days. I don't trade on news days. I don't trade on bank holidays like yesterday. My models could show up on those days, but I'm not trading because I think price conditions for me are unfavorable. Well, this is the same thing. I know we didn't have a news event today, so technically I could trade, but it's the same principle. It's like, yes, my model showed up today, and it could show up on news days. It does all the time. But I came into today saying that we could chop around, so leave price be. If that's what I'm feeling, probabilities aren't there for price to, you know, go in one direction, then I leave it be. So that's my analysis. That's my recap on the day. You know, losses happen, right? They're unavoidable. But we're going to try, you know, we try to learn from losses. We don't get fed up with them. And I definitely think there's something to learn from this one. So, in a way, I'm happy. You know, it's a good trading day regardless. I followed my trading plan, but I'm happy I entered in this because I really, my analysis afterwards, I think has really helped me. Genuinely, I think that was a solid comparison, right? The fact that I won't trade on news days, even though my model will show up. Well, why trade today if I felt that conditions were unfavorable? You know, it's the same principle. Just because there wasn't news on the day. So, yeah, that's the trade recap. Tomorrow won't be trading because CPI. And then the rest of the day, or the rest of the week, I can trade. So I will be back on Thursday and Friday to trade. We'll see if anything presents itself on those days.